up on this edition of Cogeco News. A truck fire today causes fire crews to scramble. Some new gear for the police service to utilize. And sweet music coming this weekend from some backyards. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Cogeco News. I am Greg Estabrooks. Well, a fast response from a truck from Fire Station 2 prevented extensive damage in a truck fire that took place on Wednesday morning. A city-owned vacuum truck was used to remove water from an excavation site. Fire crews on the scene in mere minutes as flames were extinguished before any major damage resulted from the fire. Firefighters were checking for hot spots as well, using water hoses, obviously, to bring down the temperature of an engine compartment. No word yet as to the extent of damage in regards to a dollar figure at broadcast time on Wednesday. North Bay Police say a safety concern that did cause some initial angst that was reported Tuesday night on the bicycle trails along the pipeline off of Ski Club Road on Johnston Road has been quickly resolved.
Police are giving the all clear after the report of a potential tripwire set up on a local trail.
It was on the bike trails that follow the pipeline in the area of Ski Club Road and Johnson Road in North Bay. An individual was out there and found what they thought was some type of a wire strung across where the people do their biking. Contacted us. We went out, collected some of this wire. As part of the investigation, we were able to speak to a company that had actually been doing testing in the area, and they use it looks like a fine wire. It's actually a communication cable. It's very brittle. It can be broken by your hand. They run that off their belt and they run it along the line to do testing to ensure that the pipeline's secure and doesn't have any leakage along the way. So that's what had been left out there. They contacted us after, helped clean it up, and there was no issue. At no point was there any injuries reported to us at all. But it was certainly something that looked like a dangerous situation. And of course, in the future, we don't want people to be discouraged from contacting us about a situation like this. It's just that, given this call at this time, it was a good scenario. Nobody was hurt. It really wasn't anything that was done maliciously.
Is it okay for people to bike on the pipeline? Is that something is okay?
That's something that they've been, the local biker people have been negotiating and working with to try and make bike paths through. Yeah, there's no law that would stop them from doing that, pending they're doing it in a respectful manner. But sure, yeah, they can use that, and like I say, we're just glad that this was the best case scenario given the report that came in.
And how important is it for cyclists to be aware of where they're going? Leave your earbuds out, don't text and bike, so that safety is pretty important.
Yeah, absolutely. And how can you hear an alert like somebody honking their horn if you've got earbuds in? You have to be aware of your surroundings, and as convenient it is to listen to music when you're doing things, you have to keep your volume down so you're aware of your surroundings.
Some workers at the North Bay Regional Health Centre staged an information picket this day, an indoor information picket, that is. Some wore stickers asking that all frontline workers get pandemic pay boosts. The theme of the day is, quote, "It takes a team to care," unquote. The hospital staff participating in this action are members of 3 different unions that represent some 75,000 hospital workers at Ontario's public hospitals. The media obviously not allowed inside the hospital during the pandemic to record any of today's display. A pair of power-assisted police bikes were donated by Aaron and Ryan Farquhar to the local service on Wednesday. The two-wheelers are valued at a combined $14,000.
The new bikes are great. We've been on the older pedal bikes. You get winded going to a call, responding to calls. You're limited by staying in the downtown core, avoiding Algonquin Hills, places like that. We've had the privilege of trying these new bikes out starting yesterday and today, and the response times are incredible. We're able to get the calls and be effective when we get there. We're not winded. Went up Algonquin in 15 seconds the other day, and you could get off and still have a communication with someone, right? So it's been a huge asset to us as we're able to broaden their response in areas that we're able to patrol. So it's been a positive addition for us. There really is no adjustment. The biggest thing is that when you're starting from a stop position, you kind of feel it kick in right away. You start pedaling and it just gives you that extra boost. And I'd say the biggest thing is going up a hill. You notice that it can really help propel you up the hill, so it's not all just your legs.
This donation made by Aaron and Ryan Farquhar of Farquhar Motors on Trout Lake Road. Why did Farquhar choose the police service for his donation?
The aspects to that job are very difficult and challenging, especially right now with everything going on. This is a very difficult thing. So being in these conversations, I'm always curious to see what can be done, if anything, to alleviate some of these challenges and make day-to-day services just a little bit easier. These bikes came up into conversation. It made a lot of sense. You just heard why and what these bikes can do for the officers. So it was really clear, really quick, that this was an opportunity for us to step up, give back to our services, and I think that's the most important thing.
The bikes were acquired at Cheapskates. These cycles, certainly not cheap, valued at $7,000 apiece.
Barry's really, first of all, fantastic businessman. He's always up for giving back as well. So he was in a great position to be able to provide these bikes. And kudos to Barry. He was really quick to come on board and make them available.
The COVID board from this day, no new cases. 30 is still the total number. 139 tests were made. This report, of course, from the North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit. We're running a couple of stories this week, maybe more on Heli Kianen. Heli was the host of the Backgrounders show on your TV, dealing with movie extras, aka Background. But Kianen has an incredible background herself. She was an RCMP officer who resigned due to harassment and a toxic workplace, but was part of a successful class action suit against the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Now the RCMP has added her to a board that is looking at mental health issues in their ranks. It was supposed to be a dream come true for Heli Kianen. After 2 tries, she was successful and installed as a full-time constable in the RCMP. 2 years later, because of harassment issues and a toxic workplace, she resigned. 4 years after that, she was part of a successful class action lawsuit against the RCMP, which verified her claims and earned an apology from the top of RCMP brass. Now, almost a decade after that, she's been asked to be part of a special committee by the RCMP that is looking into various work-related mental health issues.
We have a terms of reference that we have been reading up on, and we will soon find out who will be doing what. And I have stated that my interest as a lived experience member in the group and what I have gone through would be to possibly go to depot where the cadets are first trained and speak with them there. Because my frame of mind, Greg, is this: if you're going to invest so much money into a cadet, then throw them into a toxic detachment, you might as well flush your dollar down the toilet.
Heli is excited to be part of this organization, and I asked her what it feels like to be going back as an advisor after the bad way she ended her relationship with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yeah, I almost felt like I was rejuvenated within myself. I felt like I could let go of this heavy heart that I had carried for so long. Many people may think that winning a class action lawsuit is the end and it's the victory. For me, it was the beginning. I've been helping Mounties, former members and past members, current members, up to this day. So for me, it was vindication, but it was also acknowledgement that I was not in the wrong, that I didn't create the problem, that the problem was there, and that I addressed it. And now that I can help continue to assist them, I'm honored and I feel like on top of the world.
More on Heli a little later on this week. Telecommunications services have been always viewed as an essential service. Certainly during a pandemic, the need for connectivity has never been more pronounced. TV for entertainment, phones for communication, and most importantly, internet service for work, schoolwork, and keeping up to date on health alerts and news. We wanted to see how Cogeco was approaching its role as an essential service provider.
Like all businesses, Cogeco had to develop new ways of doing things. Julie Martins is the Director of Technical Operations for Ontario. She described what has changed in the day-to-day operations of Cogeco.
Everybody who can work from home is working from home. That means a lot of our agents are working from home. But from my perspective, the field, the technicians are still out in the field every day. That's how we can best assist the customer from outside their home. So obviously, we're still out in the field from a field technician perspective. A lot has changed in our daily operations. We keep customer service first and foremost in our work, but what really has changed is a lot of the work is now being done from outside. We've moved to a lot of innovative technologies to use apps to assist the customer inside the home by us working outside the home. That's the biggest change. Other than that, we're keeping a lot of our operations the same, maintaining our network and our customer focus.
Many essential services do not have the option of working remotely. And for technical operations at Cogeco, this was the main challenge. How do you provide residential and business service while recognizing the need for physical distancing?
A lot of our technicians are customer focused. They just want to get inside the house to fix the problem directly. It's a lot easier than walking somebody through it. So that was the challenge at the beginning, was to really make everybody step back, step out of the homes and focus on walking through a customer instead of doing it ourselves, which we're so accustomed to doing. Each tech has their own truck. We did a lot of twinning before. Now we moved to individual techs in individual trucks to maintain that social distance, as well as the fact that when we're out in the field assisting each other as technicians, we maintain the 6-foot distance. And if there is an occasion where we do have to be closer than 6 feet, we have nitrile gloves, we have masks. We're following all of the Health Canada safety precautions that we can.
Even with technology and new ways of providing service, a few innovations were simply unimaginable at the start of the pandemic.
Some things that people can't imagine is some of the innovative ways the technicians have gone to the lengths to help customers. I'll give you an example where we have technicians using their ladders going up outside the house to the second floor with their own remote and working through the window to program the televisions from outside the home. Nobody would have thought we'd ever get to that point, but that's where we are to help our customers get online without entering the home wherever possible. I certainly am very proud of the decisions Cogeco has made overall in moving towards the work we've done for COVID-19 to maintain our customers, to help support them. But I'm very proud of our technicians maintaining the top quality customer service that we do in the field every single day from a customer perspective to a network perspective. We've never lost focus on the customer throughout this pandemic.
We'll be back with much more news after this, including hot pets, sweet music. Welcome back, everybody. A novel idea from the North Bay Symphony Orchestra is coming this weekend on Sunday. While they can't share music in their concert hall, they can share it in their neighborhoods and our neighborhoods. And they're inviting everybody to join musicians from the North Bay Symphony Orchestra and North Bay's Joy Band by picking up your instrument or singing along from your front lawn or back deck to celebrate the first day of summer this Sunday at 6 p.m. Yes, it's summertime and the living is supposed to be easy. A little impromptu concert in front of the Capitol Center, which is still closed because of COVID-19. So the Symphony Orchestra came up with a novel idea to promote music and their musicians, a special concert of sorts this weekend.
Actually, one of our longtime musicians, Janet Zimbalati, was, really feeling it, as we all were when we had to cancel our performances in the spring. And she came up with this idea where people could play together, even though they're apart. So we're all playing the same piece of music, but at our own homes, out on the front porch or the back deck, playing some music in our neighborhoods.
How long will these little mini concerts last?
Well, it depends, I guess, how many times the people want to play the music. If you're talking about the duration of the concert itself on Sunday, the music is called Summertime, written by George Gershwin. It's a lovely, lovely piece to mark the first day of summer. And it's a relatively short piece, though, so people could play it maybe more than once, but it'll probably only be a few minutes worth of a concert on Sunday.
And this, for these performers, gives them a chance to express themselves after being closed up for such a long period.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, musicians are kind of used to practicing on their own, perfecting their craft, but there's nothing like performing for other people. So this will be a way to share some music with their friends and neighbors while still being socially distant.
And my assumption is that they don't mind if some people may gather around if they're socially distant to listen in.
That's right. If you're following the rules, you can stay your 2 meters apart from the musician and from the other folks that might be gathering around. Absolutely.
And you can go to the Symphony website to download music sheets. Pets in vehicles, it's a problem that rears its ugly and sometimes deadly head each and every summer. With this heat wave coming just days before the first day of summer, Humane Society staff want to get the word out. Do not leave your pets in vehicles unattended for any length of time.
As the temperature is rising, so are the number of calls being placed to the Humane Society concerning pets left in vehicles.
Gets daily calls about animals being left in the car. So with a lot of the stores and things like that being closed right now, we're hoping that people are really taking the initiative and leaving their pets at home if they have to run out and grab something and then come home right away. But it's really important that people aren't tying their animals out to posts while they're in at the grocery store, that they're not leaving their animals in the vehicle. 30 degrees outside can get really hot in a car very, very quickly. So even if you think you're just going to run in for 5 minutes, very, very important to think about the animal in the vehicle and potentially just leave it at home because it's going to be safer in the end.
Heat stroke and worst case scenario, death can occur within minutes.
Absolutely. So there's been a number of studies that have been done through the OSPCA and through animal investigations, things like that, it's absolutely imperative that bad things can happen very, very quickly. So people need to be aware that at all costs, just leave the animal at home. It's going to save their life in the end.
So I'll describe a scenario and you tell me what people should do. They get to a shopping mall, they see a dog in a car on a hot day with the windows up and the car not running. What would you do in that scenario?
So we would definitely encourage people to just sort of take a step back and look at the situation. So you don't want to overreact. You don't want to be cracking in windows or anything like that. So just take a second to evaluate the situation. You could potentially reach out to the store owner, see if they have a PA system to page the car owner, see if they can attend out. If it's within 5 or 10 minutes and the animal appears to be in distress, they can certainly contact us, city police, or the animal welfare investigations. It's going to be very important that people don't overreact, but also monitor the situation so that it doesn't get to be something serious where the animal's life is put at risk.
Perhaps let's talk about hydration. How important is it to keep a fresh bowl of water out for your pets during hot times?
Water is obviously absolutely necessary. So any animal at any given time should have fresh potable water. My personal dogs at home, they get fresh water twice a day. Animals in the Humane Society get fresh water twice a day. So it's absolutely imperative that, again, animals that are being left in a hot car, especially if they don't have water present, that can end very badly, very quickly. So dehydration, overheating, and things like that can set in. So if at any point in time you're questioning whether that water is fresh, just give it the opportunity and refreshen it anyway.
Doesn't have to be bottled water. Tap water is fine, right?
Absolutely. Well water too.
All right, do you hear that clucking sound? Yes, it's Clark. Clark will be back with weather, the guy ducking me in tennis, and an update on the splash pad right after this.
Weather is brought to you by Canadore College. Great things happen here.
Well, let it shine and let the water come down and also spray up. Welcome back to Cogeco News. I'm Clark Heupel here at North Bay's Community Waterfront Park. I am here for your 5-day weather forecast brought to you by Canadore College, and also here to spread the news that the splash pad, the rotary splash pad, is now open as of noon Wednesday, just a couple minutes past noon on this sunny middle of the work week. Yes, the city of North Bay has announced that the splash pad is now open, aligning with the announcement from the Ontario government concerning phase 2 of the reopening of the province. The city states that this splash pad is not sanitized and not monitored or supervised. So parents need to be responsible for their children and do their best to ensure that the children remain 2 meters apart. Certainly going to be difficult with kids running around the splash pad carefree. Kids are supposed to be carefree. However, the city urges parents to ensure that their kids know the rules about social distancing to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Well, the opening of the splash pad, which was delayed due to COVID, perfect timing with the weather, as we're just a few days away from the first day of summer, which is Saturday. You may remember last year when the splash pad opened, it was like 8 degrees and overcast, not good for enjoying the splash pad. However, today and the rest of the way to the 5-day picture, warm temperatures and sunny skies. Let's take a look at that 5-day forecast brought to you by Canadore College. Heading overnight on this Wednesday night, a clear, comfortable low of lucky 13. On Thursday, the 18th of June, sunny skies and the temperature 28, 2 more degrees with the humidex reaching 30, the UV index high at 9. Wear your sunscreen. Overnight Thursday night, a warm low of 14 with clear skies. Friday, 30 is the high without the humidex, mix of sun and cloud. Low 17, a very warm low on Friday night into the weekend. Saturday now, 30 degrees once again, sun and cloud mix, low 18, even warmer at night. And then Sunday, June 21st, the first day of summer, clouds, high 25, low 16. Turning the page back to the almanac, on Tuesday we had a nice high of 24 with sun and a comfortable low of 7. The normals are 23 and 11 for the high and low. Well, there you have it. There is your 5-day weather picture. Do stay tuned to our Greg Estabrooks, who's just itching to get back on the tennis court. Sorry, Greg, I have a busy life. Greg will have your sportscast right after this.
Sports is brought to you by Tag Construction for all your construction needs.
Welcome back, everybody. If cowering in the woods means you have a life, Clark has a life because he won't play me tennis since I beat him last week. The Battalion, as we found out today through exhaustive research, have made a deal. They traded the Ontario Hockey League rights to center Stephen Laforme to the Ottawa 67s. The club announced Monday The Battalion get a 4th round pick in the 2021 draft for Laforme, who was selected by North Bay in the 5th round in 2019. Laforme played Junior B with the Hamilton Kilty Bees of the Greater Ontario Junior Hockey League. He had 11 goals and 45 assists in 50 games. That's it for news, weather, and sports for this Wednesday. We'll have much more news for you live at 5 on Thursday with more Cogeco News. See you then.